I didn't post the work to the problem that we set up for you yesterday at the end of class. But if you have a question about the work, I can show you the work. You can do it one of two different ways. You can either do it where you make two right triangles out of it, or you can do law of sines to get the hypotenuse of the smaller right triangle, and then you can go from there. But you should have gotten 748.09, I believe is what it was. It rounded out to. Yeah, so 748.1 feet off the shore. Okay. So today we're going to do the first part. We're going to teach you yet another way to say these angles, these navigation angles, and then we're going to do some application problems with it. Then I'm going to give you some practice time for you to do some more application problems. I'm going to hand back some tests and some quizzes and some homework and a whole big old stack of stuff to hand back today. So lots of things to hand back today. And then you have a formative tomorrow. Okay? So there'll be a formative tomorrow and some videos to watch over the weekend for you. Okay? It is the end of the quarter. Grades are due today. So we'll call it 10 o'clock is going to be your last chance to get stuff fixed, turned in, and all that fun stuff. Okay? All right, here we go. So, looking at another way, so now this is going to be the fourth way to describe an angle, and that's with a north-south point of reference. This is in your note packet. I know we're jumping around in the note packet we do things in different orders every year, and we didn't talk about it this year. So the format for this new way of saying is what these three examples right here look like. So you've got either north or south first, and then you've got an angle measure, and then you've got east or west. Okay, that's the format for this one. Okay, so what this is saying right here, south 35 degrees east. Okay, so what that is saying is we are going to be south, so south is straight down, east is to the right, so we're going to be south, but we're going to be 35 degrees east, so this angle here is going to be 35 degrees. Okay. So, just so you all are aware, out the windows, that's north. It's actually truly north. Okay? So, I'm south, so I'm looking south, and then I'm looking 35 degrees to the east, off of south. Okay? Now, that then can be translated into our compass rose angle from yesterday, okay? Which our compass rose angle from yesterday, 0 was up top, east was 90, south was 180. So that same south 35 degrees east could also be how much? 145? Yeah, 145 degrees. Okay. that same south 35 degrees east, which could be a navigation angle of 145 degrees, could also be a unit circle angle of how much? So now unit circle, 0 is over here, 90 is up here, 270 is over here. Whoops, excuse me, 180 is over there. I got ahead of myself. 270 is down here. So the unit circle angle would be how much? (305 degrees). We can also classify, or we can also identify that angle by its reference angle. Okay? What would the reference angle for that one be? Reference angle would be there, and how much would that be? 55. One angle, 4 different ways to say it. Okay. Let's try another one here. North, 80 degrees west. Which quadrant am I going to be in? At north, 80 degrees west. What? Going to be in quadrant 2. So I'm looking north, and then off of north, I got to go 80 degrees. So that's over here. This one here is 80 degrees. What would my compass rose angle measure be? 280? 280. What would my trig angle be? 170. And what would my reference angle be? Agree on all accounts? You try now, letter C. I got us in quadrant number 1, which would also be my compass rose, 55 degrees there. My trig would be there, and that would be what, 35? My reference angle, since we're in quadrant 1, would also be 35. Agree? Okay. Let's put these to work now. Okay. So I believe it should be the next page. It should be a flip. Ship is 300 nautical miles west and 65 nautical miles south of port. What bearings should the ship sail to reach the port, and how many nautical miles is the ship from port? Okay. So our ship is west, so I'm going to put my port over here. Doesn't really matter which direction you go first. Okay? So if we went this 300 nautical miles there, and then we are also south 65 nautical miles. We want that one. Right? And we want what bearing should the ship sail to reach the port? So that means we want this angle in there is what we want for the ship to reach the port. Again, words matter. If we were going from the port to the ship, if we needed to send a rescue boat out, that would be a different bearing angle than if we were from going back to port. What do you want to find first? Angle or distance? Again, I'll ask the question. Which one do you want to find first? Distance? Doesn't matter. Does it matter which one you find first? Do I need to find the distance in order to find the bearing? Do I need to find the bearing in order to find the distance? So could you be wrong by answering the question that I posed twice? Say it louder, you two. No. So which one do you want to find first? Distance? All right, find me the distance. How are we going to find the distance? Pythagorean theorem. Because we have because north is perpendicular to east and west, right? North-south lines are perpendicular to east and west. You know all this stuff, okay? So we got the Pythagorean theorem. So we could say, let's call this x. X squared equals 65 squared plus 300 squared. So that's going to be 94,225. So x is going to be that. So we could say here the ship needs to sail, we want to go 306.96 or 307.0? 306.96? Okay. How am I going to find the angle? I'm going to find the blue angle. Inverse tangent? Really, I could use any of them, right? But the smart play is tangent, because those are non-rounded sides. Okay? So the inverse tangent is going to be 300 over 65. Agree with me on that? Okay. Let's do it. Let's put it in the north-south degree east-west one, the one that we just learned. Okay. So what is it going to be? North or south first? Are we going up or are we going down? We're going up, right? So that's north. Okay. What's the angle? 77.8. West is left, east is right. East. There you go. So the ship needs to steam for 306.96 nautical miles on a bearing of north 77.8 degrees east. Okay. Questions? This one, yeah, we jumped around a little bit. A plane is traveling on a heading of north 65 degrees west for 90 miles. Find how far north and how far west the plane is from the airport. Okay. Let's get a picture, then you guys get to do. Okay. So it's traveling north 65 degrees west. Is that up and left, up and right, down and left, down and right? Which one? Up and left. Do we agree with up and left? Okay. So our plane is flying up and left. You want to make lower triangle or upper triangle? Upper. Flew for 90 miles. Do I know anything else about my triangle? Okay, so this one's 90. This one, or that top or bottom, is 65. Bottom one is 65. We need to know how far north and how far west the plane is. So we need the other two sides of the triangle. Side note, I don't want to see phones or earbuds. Okay. So if you have one out, put it in the backpack. So up front, I saw one, and I heard somebody else use the law of sines. Okay? Did it work? Okay. It still worked, but do we have to use the law of sines in this one? Why not? The right triangle. So you always got SOHCAHTOA in a right triangle. Okay? Okay? So you should have gotten that the plane is 81.57 miles north and 38.04 miles west. Now, I will tell you, in this particular problem, just saying 81.57 and 38.04 is not enough, because I don't know which one you mean. You're in a totally different spot if you reverse those two. Okay? So it matters your labels. Labels matter. Alright? One more. Okay. Shipleysport at noon has a bearing of south 23 degrees east. If the ship sails at 30 knots, how many nautical miles south and east will the ship have traveled by 3 p.m.? Go for it. So we're south, and then we're 23 degrees east. So we are 23 degrees east there. The ship sails at 30 knots. How long was it sailing? Time. How long did it sail? 3 hours. So how far did it sail? 90 nautical miles. So this one is 90 nautical miles. Here is our ship now at 3 p.m. We need to know how many nautical miles south, and we'll go purple this time, east. We know we got a right triangle. Helpful. Later on Tuesday, we'll get into multiple forces. So we've got, so that would be cosine of 23 degrees is south over 90. So this is going to be 90 cosine of 23. Turn on for 90 would be 82.4. So we'll say we are 82.85 nautical miles south. Then we went purple. That's going to be sine. Agree? Yeah? So now for the last mod, I want you to be working on these 3 problems on the back side of that paper. And then, or so the back side of your packet, the last sheet of your packet. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to be handing out my stack of stuff that I got to hand back. Okay? All right.